Hello, this is Ben from 3D Hobby Shop, and today we're going to do the overview video of what you're going to be receiving when you take delivery of your Andrzejewski Osiris pattern. All right, and the first thing we're going to do is check for any shipping damage. The quad layers of the two boxes should prevent any damage, but if you get any, just let us know. 3D Hobby Shop will help you out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to start releasing the tape, pulling the pieces down into the box, so we can remove them one at a time. And there's no need to go fast here. Just take your time. Make sure that you get all the pieces of tape. And you can lift everything out really gently. Okay? And put it on your build table. I want to make special note of one aspect of unpacking the box. In the end of the box where your rudder is packed, once you've released the rudder, note there's a false floor under that end of the box. You're going to want to release that false floor, because underneath the false floor are your hardware pieces and landing gear. Don't throw your box away without getting these pieces out. Okay, now we have all the pieces for the Osiris ARF out of the box and all the poly bags removed. Now, when you remove the flight surfaces from the poly bags, you notice that they have styrofoam blocks taped onto them. We want to remove the masking tape on these blocks carefully so we don't mar the covering. And underneath the styrofoam block is your control horn. All the control horns for the Osiris are pre-installed. That's what's underneath the styrofoam blocks. Then we can discard these styrofoam blocks. Notice when you remove the parts from the poly bags that the landing gear for the Osiris is just two pieces. These are pre-assembled. The wheel with the collars, the axle, the pant, and the landing gear leg, these are pre-assembled for you to save you as much time as possible in construction. When you remove your carbon fiber wing tube from your kit box, it'll also be inside a poly bag. Be a little bit careful about how you remove the poly bag from this wing tube. We don't want to take a razor blade and make a long slice down the bag, because that could put a scratch in our wing tube. Just use scissors and cut the end of it and then just work it off with your fingers. That's the best way to take care of your wing tube. Alright, now let's unpack your accessory box. Now, later production runs of the Osiris should come all in one box. The pre-orders have two boxes. This is your second box. You need to find two items inside it. You need to find your wing and fuselage bag set. You need to also find your update parts kit. We'll talk about the bags first. So the Osiris includes wing bags and a fuselage carrying bag. Note that they are tied together with a nylon zip tie. So you're going to want to take a pair of scissors, not a razor blade, not an X-Acto, scissors, and cut these loose so that you don't harm the bags in the process. And then you have your two wing bags for the Osiris. And then you also have your fuselage bag with carrying straps so you can carry your fuselage easily. Okay, so in your accessories box there's also a small update parts kit. We've made a few revisions to the hardware on the 62-inch Osiris, and that's covered by the parts in this bag. So we're going to remove these parts from the bag. Okay. Alright, so the first item you'll find inside your small poly bag of update parts is you'll find four of these 4-40 size bolts. We've made a revision. We wanted to go to a slightly longer bolt on your landing gear installation. These are the bolts that hold your landing gear to the landing gear mount inside the Osiris fuselage. We've updated that to a slightly longer fastener. You'll find those in your update parts kit. We also want the Osiris to have the absolute best quality wing bolts in the world, so we've included a pair of nylon head stainless steel thread 4mm wing screws. You also have the standard wing screws in your kit box. These are just a little bit higher quality, and we thought they should be included in the kit, so you also get two of those. Now, your Osiris was packed at the factory in poly bags with no wrinkles in the covering. However, it's been covered in a coastal area with high humidity. If you open up your bags in a place with a little less humidity, and most places in the United States have lower humidity than where this plane was covered, you're going to start seeing a few little wrinkles. Now, these wrinkles are due to wood shrinkage. Okay, this is perfectly natural for a balsa wood airplane, and most people, if you've owned balsa wood ARFs before, then you know about shrinking using a heat gun. Osiris is covered in genuine ultra coat. It shrinks very easily in a very conventional fashion. The one thing we don't want you to do not point your heat gun at your canopy hatch. If you're going to be shrinking on or around the fuselage, please remove your canopy hatch. because a heat gun can ruin a canopy hatch really, really quickly. So please do observe that one rule. We'll find a poly bag of motor mounting hardware. Motor mounting hardware includes 4 long, 4 shorter 4mm motor mounting screws, a set of 4 motor mounting washers, and it includes a set of 4 3/8 inch tall motor mounting spacers, a set of 1 3/8 inch tall motor mounting spacers, and a set of 2 inch tall motor mounting spacers. Now, between these pieces, you should be able to mount virtually any brushless motor that you want to put on the front of the Osiris onto the Osiris. The spacers are made of wood. If you need to cut them or sand them, trim them a little bit, it's easy to do. And you can also use additional washers if you need to space out a little bit farther than the height of the motor mounting spacer. Different. If you've assembled balsa ARF pattern aircraft in the past, one thing different about the Osiris, we do not remove any covering from the center of the elevator. We leave the covering intact. Now, the covering on the Osiris is an integral part of the horizontal stabilizer structure, and we use thin CA glue to attach our horizontal stab to the balsa wood stab saddle inside the fuselage. So all we do is we slide the stabilizer into the fuselage, we get it lined up, and then we hit it with thin CA and let it dry. We don't remove any covering here. Removing covering on a stab weakens it, and CA glue has high affinity for covering, so there's no problem. All right, thanks. Okay, so the Osiris instruction manual with all the detailed procedures is going to be available on the 3D Hobby Shop website on the manuals page as a PDF file. So you can download it if you need to look over a particular step. Now, if you're familiar with balsa pattern aircraft, you probably won't need all those detailed procedures. All you need is some basic information, so we're going to give that to you at the end of this video. Your center of gravity. Center of gravity range for the Osiris is pretty broad. It's basically 6.5 inches to 7.25 inches measured from the root leading edge of the wing here. Now, Andrew Jeski's personal CG for his Osiris is 7 inches, so we're going to recommend that you use 7 inches for competition or competition practice with the airplane. And if you look, measuring 7 inches back gets you right back to the rear of the wing bolt mounting tab. This is behind the wing tube. You can see the rectangular slot here for the wing bolt mounting tab, and that's approximately 7 inches back. So if you measure back 7 inches from the root, that's where you're going to be balancing your Osiris for competition or competition practice, with the allowable range being 6.5 to 7.25 back from the leading edge at the root. Talk about in this quick start video are your throws for your AJ Osiris. Now, the throws that we're going to give you are Andrew Jeski's competition throws for the airplane. If you're a sport or 3D pilot, these throws are going to feel pretty soft to you. You'll need to get used to them. And you can always put the throws to your personal preference, but these throws are a great place to start. When we talk about a throw, for instance, on the elevator, when we give you 12 degrees of throw, that means 12 degrees up and also 12 degrees down. Okay, that's our convention. So, on the elevator, we'll start with low rates at 12 degrees. Mid rates 17 degrees, and high rates 22 degrees. So 12, 17, 22, low, mid, high. On the aileron, we'll start off with 15 degrees on low, mid of 20 degrees, high of 25. So the aileron, low, mid, high, 15, 20, 25. On the rudder, low will be 25 degrees, mid of 30, high rate of 35. So the rudder, 25, 30, 35. For you experienced pattern guys, that should be all the data you need to get out and start flying the Osiris. For people that are a little less familiar with balsa pattern aircraft, shortly after we ship the Osirises, we'll have the PDF version of the manual available on the 3D Hobby Shop website on the manuals page. So thanks, and enjoy your AJ Osiris.